links right now.
All right.
I'm gonna send you guys the links right now.
All right. The Virgo's on the ascendant.
What's up, Domina? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very, 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 very first episode of the Psychic Cypher. Happy Aries season. All right, Mystical Illuminations coming through with a banger. And I think we are launching what might be one of the dopest podcasts to exist. So, I'm gonna just say that out there right now. I got two of the dopest guests with me. And I just first and foremost want to thank you all for tuning in. I see you guys are showing out right now, which is amazing because we did not announce this really. And when I go live on Zoom, it doesn't allow me to. So I'm just very grateful. But as you can see, I got two wonderful guests, Chula Chakras and Gemini Brown. What's up, fam?
What up, what up?
What up, y'all?
Sweet.
Aries season in the building. New beginnings.
Yup.
New things going down. How's
Get it popping, right? It's been
yeah.
a minute, y'all. So this is the time, the divine time.
It is the divine time. For those of you who are day ones, you will recognize Chula Chakras, aka Nikki, from back in the day. I think like 2017.
Yes, sir.
This is not the first time we've been on live doing ciphers, so I think that's the coolest part too.
I want to say our talk was in the 40s, wasn't it? Like 47 when you did the peace talk back then.
I believe so.
Like that, yeah. So.
I believe so. So this is, for those who want to know, this is a new show we're doing to pretty much bring the essence of hip hop into the psychic and light work we do, give or take. But before we say too much, we're gonna open up with a cipher, which we in tradition will do every episode. And you're welcome to, wherever you are, this is rap along with us. All right. Other than that, let's get this under control. Okay. What was that? Oh, I got you. All right. Happy Aries season, y'all.
Shout out.
Oh, yeah. I channel and rap just like Jay Barbara said. I'm going to just go off the head. Okay. All right. Okay. It's the peace dealer, dealing peace. Onliner in the streets. This is Psychic Cypher. We too live. We kill beats dead. High. Bye. That quick. I'm healthy, but I'm still that sick. And this hip hop shit is what we live and breathe. Anyway, take a beat, give it a disease. This life like a battle rap. But I ain't just a battle rapper, a psychic cipher expert. It is what it is, off of the dome, even if it isn't, I'm still feeling at home. And I won't say too much, but this is the first episode, and ain't that such a delight and a blessing. I send that to you, no stressing. And I'll pass the beat. Thank you for listening, that was sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna catch the beat. This is hip hop. 3-1. That's what I rap.
Hey.
I'm a D. And I'm a M. I'm rocking with my homies. The Gemini quick. The one and only Nick. I'm the that. Chula. You know I'm a Scorpio. In fact, I got the flow. I'm a I'm a that. We gotta go off the dome. The phone. Gotta go for pro. Gotta get healthy all alone. And this is how I do my thing in the baby, you know I'm more than me. I'ma do that shit, I'm off the green. How I do my thing, you know how I do. how we feel. I'm the best of life. Cypher. What I do is secret. This is how it is. No, I can't make it. This is how it's been. This is how it goes. We gonna take them to school. Gemini, what up, dude?
Oh.
Okay. Let the beat bang. I treat just like my nuts, let it hang. Dang, I feel like the man. You know I do this rap shit cause I can. Yo, we the new Wu-Tang, do this shit perfect. Like Wu-Tang, you better protect your neck. Nalo going off the dome, rapping right here inside of my home. Homes, do it for my team. Gemini, Chula Chakras, peace dealer, I mean. We out here, we keep this shit live. I do this shit, my God, we on time. Virgo and the ascendant, do this shit back then, remembrance. Got my son up in the 10th. I take the shit back like we reminiscing, man. Nala when this let you know like a fire, we stay lit. I got the itch, got some money in my palm. I'm holy like I read a psalm. My God, I'm the man out here. Let you know that 2020 is my year.
Hey.
No fear. Up top, I do this shit. Hip hop. Let's go.
That's what's up. We usually do a closing cipher too. So for those who couldn't hear Nikki, we'll hit it a cappella so you can hear us for sure. And
Right.
other than that,
I'm gonna get my headphones. I think that'll help by our next episode. But like honestly,
sure.
no, we didn't practice anything. We were just out here feeling the vibe and kind of getting our freestyle flow ready for each episode.
Exactly. We just wanted to be raw, just be candid, just have fun with it. Don't worry. The bar you'll see each episode. We come with harder bars, so that's the point. It is what it is. But other than that, just so overjoyed. This is definitely dope team right here. Once again, Chula Chakras for those who aren't aware, she's the Detroit hip hop queen. All right, and if you haven't heard Nalo Brown or Gemini Brown kicking bars, you're gonna get acquainted through this series. So, other than that, yeah, what's up, guys? How have y'all been as far as like the past few weeks and all that?
Man, just I mean, blessed. Just going with what we got to do, and still a lot of grounding that we need to take place, in order of these changes. So I'm just trying to stay grounded, feeling good though. I can't really complain at all this stuff that's going on in the world. Like we're here, we got to come together. I feel that shift. Saturn entered Aquarius today, right, you guys? So we're gonna feel that for a little bit.
So
Word.
29 degrees.
Yeah, 29 degrees, man.
Oh.
Saturn and Aqua here, so
Hey.
Saturn return coming up.
Congrats.
Okay.
Word, what's crazy with me being like on YouTube doing reasons and stuff like that. I don't know how you felt, Mike, but I've been waiting to have my Saturn return. I feel like it's like when you turn 21. You know what I'm saying? Like we give all this advice and all of that, but like I definitely once I have my Saturn return, I'm gonna feel a bit more wiser because
Bro, it's legit. I'm just completing mine. And yours is in Sagittarius, right, Nikki?
Oh, my Saturn? No, I'm a Saturn Libra.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
Eight. Okay.
She OG for real. That's what's up. She's like been there, done that. That was my last decade.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I want to say a cat the other day was like, "Yo, you give off such youthful energy," but after we start talking for a minute, they're like, "Oh, okay." So like when that comes through, I feel that my Saturn really shows that in a sense. But yeah, OG for sure, you guys. 38.
You know what's even crazier? Like the fact that we're doing this now when the moon is dead conjunct Mercury, and then is 4 degrees Pisces, is sextile Uranus 4 degrees Taurus, and it's also Mars is 23 Capricorn on Jupiter. So
on Jupiter, yep.
Yep.
That's great for that
which
energy
on my moon.
right there. Right there is great for initiating things.
Yep.
I I mean, on my Venus, because I have a Cap in Venus. But what degree are we at right now? I wonder.
Jupiter 23, Mars 23, Pluto 24, and Saturn 29, 59 minutes. Like it's getting ready to move into the Saturn. It's into the Saturn Aqua generation. Got that Pluto and Scorpio square. So I'm looking forward to y'all Saturn return. It's gonna be the harshest.
Yeah,
the strongest. That's what they say. But you know, it's gonna make us, because we're here. We're here to do something. You know, so we kind of, whatever occurs, we need to go through it. So, you know, I'm ready for it. It's crazy. I was listening to something, a song I recorded, and I said in the bars, I said, 6 summers until my Saturn returns. God damn, that was a quick 6 summers.
Right.
I was here. Yeah.
Right.
I can hardly. I mean, I remember mine. You know, you kind of remember certain aspects of it, or something that really shifted, like a breakthrough. You know, but I'm getting ready. I feel like the 7-year cycle was that. I'm ready for that next shift. You know, as I'm returned. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be a really powerful learning curve.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love how you brought up 7, because 7 seems to be like a trial number. Bobby Shmurda was locked up for 7 years. And if we're gonna talk about hip hop news, 6ix9ine's getting sued. He's gonna come out jail, signed for 10 milli. We have Pop Smoke, what happened to him? But I guess with more current news, Jay Electronica dropped, Uzi dropped, Janae Aiko dropped. So I mean,
that album's beautiful.
Right? Yeah, Janae. Yeah, the album was really dope. It was really chill. Hers is
Yeah, I feel like you know, there's certain, I don't know if you guys do this, but there's certain artists that I feel like really poster boys for their signs.
Yeah.
And she's one of them. Like
Two Fish. Yep.
Everything about her is Pisces, and I just love that she gets it and she doesn't stray from it.
Bro, get this. She's Sun, Moon, and North Node in Pisces. Like she's destined to be like. It's amazing.
So is Badu. Erykah Badu is.
So is Badu.
Yep.
That's true.
And like they're just so like you could just pot. You know what I mean? Like They
don't play that shit.
Yeah.
They really about it.
You imitated, never duplicated, you know?
Word, you know, and just yesterday, the weekend dropped.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I bumped a couple. Here's another one. He doesn't deviate. Yeah, Scorpio.
Scorpio Moon, right?
Moon, yeah, Scorpio Moon. He doesn't deviate from his sound. He knows what works.
Childish Gambino dropped too. I need to hear that.
I heard he dropped and then he took it back, so I didn't get to listen to it.
I think it's because he's releasing it only on his website or something like that. That's a good question. I haven't heard it either, but I heard it was good.
What was the last thing that we talked about? Oh, when we were talking, just us three, about the electronica joint, when him and Mike, they were going back and forth. Did you guys sit down and listen to get a chance to really sit down and listen to it?
The album? Yeah. Oh yeah. I've only heard it play through once, but I've had Ezekiel's Wheel on repeat, Shiny Suit Theory, and Ghost of Soulja Slim. Those are my joints.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been listening to it. Production wise, I'm biased because Hove's all over it. I'm biased,
right.
and then production wise, I just like the beats. You know, I like the beats, but the mixing could have been a little bit better. But yeah, overall, it's cool. Let's get into that, because, you know, Jay Electronica is one of those dudes that he just has this mystique around him ever since he came out. It was like almost like he was donned like the one, or like the next to some type of throne. And but I don't think he actually wanted it or whatever. So this was a big anticipated release. And overall, I just think it kind of fell short of expectation. And I'll just say personally, I thought he was good, you know, but I didn't think he was amazing. And that's just me personally. It was different from like when I heard Kendrick and I heard Cole, I was like, even Big Sean, I was like, oh, these are some stars. Like they got
over delivered. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't feel that way about Jay Electronica, but I think the media or just people kind of gave him big expectations.
Everyone wanted every track to sound like Exhibit C. I think that's it. And also
such a hard single when he dropped that. Like,
yeah.
And then I
God
agree
tier.
Gemini Brown is saying, because I mean, honestly, you guys, I think that I don't care if he came out with I mean, he had to have almost came out with like a single like that for people to just like praise it, because no matter of what he would have came out with, I think people are still in their minds like it took 10 years and they're kind of like a little like we're away from that now. So he had to really have everybody back to be like, here, you know, we waited for it. It's not like Dre, like if he drops like Detox, it would be different. But Jay only really came in the game for a quick minute and then, you know, dropped killer shit and then just dipped. And
he was like, killing the features too. So it's like that, it added to his mystery. And like Gemini Brown said, it wasn't whack. I hadn't heard, and some people will debate, but I didn't hear Jay Electronica spit one whack verse. Like he brought his essence. But there's a hot take that I saw that I really agree with. I don't think he wanted to make this album. I think Jay-Z was like, yo, get in the studio, like let's make something. And Jay just kind of reluctantly was like, all right, I'll do something. And I think it's ironic how he drops 2020. Like, of course, the year that all this crazy shit happens, Jay also drops his album. So I thought that was funny.
Right.
A meme about that. Like, yo, some shit's really about to end. Electronica drop. Like, oh boy.
Tom Brady leaving the Patriots. Like, it's all going down.
Yeah.
Flipped on us.
You know, so someone had asked what is his sign, and I've never dove into his chart, but I do know he's a Virgo sun, and on the album he does say something to the sort of like, why rush myself to drop just so you guys could like pick the project apart. So on one hand, one thing I understand, I feel like he all this time is a mask because him being a perfectionist, possibly wanting to be a perfectionist, and then also being afraid of criticism, you know? And as a Virgo moon, Virgo rising, I just understand that's just something that comes with the territory, you know?
I have a question.
Okay.
Did you see the Joe Budden podcast when he mentioned that when they brought up the verse about Jay Electronica not wanting to be teared down, and then Joe, all Virgo, was like, I hate that line. Of course I'm going to bring it. Of course I'm going to tear it down. Like the Virgo in him came out. Like
Virgo in him.
Yeah. Of course I'm going to break it down. That's a horrible line. I was like, damn.
We appreciate hip hop, and like guys, we're going to be doing a lot of segments on, like we've talked about this, like the culture as well as like the elements of hip hop. So we're going to break it down that way. But I feel like, you know, with him kind of coming out that way, it was more or less like we needed a little bit more with that, because when you're a hip hop artist, that's what you're on the line for. You're going to always get dogged or criticized, or someone's going to try to compete with what you guys say or pick your shit apart. That's just hip hop, you know? Like, does happen. And I think that, you know, for him to kind of shield himself from that, it shows a vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. And it's also cool because it's not like he just dropped a mixtape. Like, despite, I really feel like this album will grow on us. Some people didn't like Watch the Throne at first too. That grew, it aged so well. Right. I didn't like Yeezus when I heard it at first, but I mean, now that's my shit.
Right. I would say that this album is very spiritual, and at the times that we're going through right now, people are going to connect to it maybe in the next few weeks even more, I think.
Right.
Going to have his spin on it. I mean, I've seen criticism rather, when people talking about, you know, him repping, you know, his spirituality too much on it, but I think you know, and that's where he's at in his life.
Exactly.
You know, all for it. I'm here.
It seemed more like an ode to Allah and the Honorable Muhammad. So it wasn't really like a Jay Elect album. It was like a written testimony. So yeah.
And you know, I think that brings to a greater point where it's like we have really talking about hip hop, you know, at its core. Hip hop for me, you know, being an MC, is very much so what I write about is dictated about is dictated by what I'm going through, what I read, what I watch, everything around me. You know what I'm saying? So for him, the way the album came out, I could respect it because to some extent, he's really letting me understand him and what message he's trying to convey, how he's trying to portray himself. Another thing I will say, just in terms of how the album, like going back to your point, Mike, that you don't think he wanted to make this album.
Yeah.
I think partly is that, but also I don't think he in these 10 years took the time to evolve as an artist, learning how to make real songs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When the album came out, I went back and I listened to his old stuff. I'm like, okay, this sounds like somebody who's just rapping.
Rapping. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I listened to the new stuff and then it's like he's still just rapping. And I think Jay came in and was more like a filler.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think he really developed the craft as an MC like he should have. Which had he really done that, it would have came out completely different.
Or do you mean like an artist? Because I think artists get into song making and MCs really just be rapping. But that could be debatable. I think you're right. As an MC, like,
rappers just be rapping. MCs are artists, in my opinion.
Because okay.
Master of ceremony, you know, like you got to be able to control the mic, control the room, control the beat, get everybody together. The DJ actually really controls the vibe. But when you're a real MC, there's an artistry that you have to portray. You just
stand corrected.
Rapping, I mean, that's just like a rapper. I used to host like Cyphers and open mics in Detroit, and rappers would rap over their songs. And you know, that's to me, like if you're an MC, you got to go raw over a beat. Don't rap over like don't rap over
Can I say something about that?
I feel you on that. Rapping over your vocals instead of rapping raw on the beat. Yeah.
Listen, and I'm guilty. This is the Virgo energy in me. If I am at an open mic and an artist does that, I go to that artist afterwards and I just say to them, I do, and I don't feel bad about it because
that's Venus and Leo.
Everyone needs to know that. They need to know that. Seriously, I let them know, yo, go over just the beat. The energy will be completely different.
Completely different.
You know, and honestly, I've never met anybody who had a problem with me letting them know that. It's just something, it's a part of the game.
It's real.
Yeah, and I think people do it as a safety net.
Safety net.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's so hard, like to it's not really, it's challenging to have to memorize your lyrics and then have the stage presence to put on a crowd and not forget one bar and just over the beat. That's the true mark of an MC versus, you know.
Mark of an MC, because even if the beat cuts off and you're just standing there looking silly, you still got to let the show go on. So whether you kick something written or you can't remember what you said, you know, artists always improvise, I would say. You know, and that's an evolved MC. Like Gemini said, you go up and you kick it with them in a way and say, listen, you know, there's a way that you could, you know, showcase your vocals and your rhymes where people would really embrace that even that much more.
For sure. And so I just want to also, to that point you were making earlier about rappers just rapping. I feel one thing about modern music that I've realized is the death of like true A&Rs.
A&Rs.
Shout
out to Hitmaker.
You know, A&Rs back in the day, they used to literally develop the artists. They would have all types of, you know, classes. Workshops, about the different ways of how to become a better musician.
Yeah.
So I feel like nowadays, especially if you're taking someone who's popping off of, you know, internet success,
right?
It's more of a lazy approach. You're not really taking the time to make that artist better than what they were when you found them. So I think that's another key thing. But bringing that back to Jay Electronica, I don't think he should have had that problem. One thing people may not know about Exhibit C and all his early stuff, that was produced by Just Blaze. And Just Blaze is a producer's producer. He's like a perfectionist. He's like structuring
Capricorn.
everything. Okay, see, I didn't even know that. But yeah, Ninth Wonder is a Capricorn too.
Yep. The greatest producers.
You know,
right.
So
that's wild.
I just don't think he really took the time to learn that stuff. Yeah. And if he did, it would just be different.
I know him and Wale are both Virgos. Wale's Back to the Future with Ninth Wonder a decade ago. The whole purpose of him was just to rap. He's like, I'm just trying to get my rapping on. I'm trying to let these bras know, these dudes know who want the singing songs. Like, I'm just trying to get my rapping on. So that's like the vibe I got. But that was a mixtape. This is an album. So I get that too. Like But what do you guys feel about let's change the topic a little bit. Uzi, I heard Eternal Take. I didn't want to make this too much of an album review, so this is less an album review. I heard Love Is Rage 2. I like 2 songs off of there. It's not really the type of music for our age group, or I mean, maybe if you pop bottles at the club or like you like to get hip, but he sold like over 300,000 copies his first week. So this is definitely not someone who isn't here to stay. You know what I mean? What do you feel about how younger artists are gaining more clout and traction, like regardless of?
I mean, you already know me. I mean, I'd have to ask you what the heck he even sings. Because
right. Nikki does not listen to Uzi.
Like, my segment will be the classic album features. Poetic. Right. Start with the soundtrack of that. But no, for real, like I mean, I respect anybody's creativity in that, but I think that Generation Z, what is before the millennials, maybe, they're probably the ones that are putting those numbers up. But shouts out to the crib, like Royce da 5'9" said, like numbers do lie.
Numbers do lie. Yes.
That can happen.
That was an amazing song too. The overcover. Yeah. I think West Side Gun's verse was one of the best intros.
I think we lost Gemini.
Yeah, I think
his phone cut out. He'll be right back.
Cool.
But I agree with well, I think what you were saying is just kind of like the newcomers, like how are they going to be staying? Like they can that push, but where's the longevity in it? Like where are you?
That part too.
Your music, and what is the younger generation really into right now? What are they listening to? I mean, the golden era is always going to be where my soul is. So it's like, where can we ever evolve to that again?
And see, this is the most important question. Shout out to Royce, because Royce has been going hard end of last year he's not playing. He knows the state of hip hop right now. Like, your era, this is the last decade of your era. Like, after this, they're gone. And so, like, what are we going to be left with? No one's making music still like that. So, like, we do have a possibility of shit going extinct. And the younger generation not giving a fuck. Like, they don't care. They're going to still party. You know what I mean? It's not to say that they can't get deep either, because they're still growing up. But, we're seeing it happen before our eyes. So what do you feel about that? Like as far as the rappers you grew up seeing 2 decades ago, a decade ago, where are they gonna go? How do you think do you think it's gonna inherit? I know there's the Coles and the Kendricks, but they're like the minority.
History always repeats itself. It may take some time, but like the guys that I came up with, shouts out Aries season, Redman, he's one of my, if not my favorite.
Still active, still killing it.
Okay, exactly. So
still killing it.
That's why I wanted to bring that to the forefront, because like for over 2 decades, Redman is still out here spitting really raw bars, always staying authentic. And that's when time maybe ends in that sense, there's always going to be somebody to pick that back up. There has to.
Yeah.
That history repeats itself in a sense. I wanted to highlight Redman because it is Aries season. He is. Yep. And he's kept that torch. I'm going to talk about the crib. I'm going to talk about Eminem. I'm going to talk about cats like, Elzai, people that have been able to, curb the whole,
Fonte.
There's situations where we got to stay, true to our craft, but they have to, like Gemini said, we have to be able to reinvent ourselves and still like be the forerunner,
Yep.
GOAT? What makes you a person that's always going to be able to hit that? Like someone like Redman or Wu-Tang, like they keep that. And when the 90s golden era actually dusts out, they're going down in history, like Tupac, like Big L, you know, cats that actually are, in my opinion, the prophets of
The
hip-hop.
prophets. And speaking of that, just like Redman, Styles P, Jadakiss still killing it. Styles said something like a few years ago talking about, God damn, on a Static Selector record with Talib. He's like, God damn, they even screwed up conscious rap. Conscious rap isn't even like it used to be. So it's like, you know, and I don't want to be that mad rapper talking about hip hop isn't like it used to be, but it's I think it's more important than ever to kind of like consider 10 years down the line, all of the pillars that brought this up, they're not going to be active. And they're still the only ones that are bringing this message. You're not seeing it with the younger ones. So
Yeah,
are we going to see that change?
I think like Nikki was saying, it's like you know, history kind of repeats itself. There's just gonna be people that will encompass that energy. They won't have been there from that particular time, but they'll have that particular influence. Let's talk about YBN Corday dropped one of my favorite albums.
That's that dude. That's that dude. He Virgo too. Gemini moon.
Virgo MCs, man.
That's that dude, man. He got that spirit.
I love Virgo.
Yeah. I think it's always going to be a particular select few who can embody that type of energy. Let's just like Cole and Kendrick, they literally have amassed so much success and stayed completely true to their essence. The way that, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn and, you know, Forest Hill Drives, the way those albums were received in both worlds, in the really hip hop world and then in the critically acclaimed world, it just lets you know that there's always just going to be somebody there. But at the end of the day, just like it is with like a sport, it boils down to that MC taking the time to perfect the craft, to stick true to themselves and then just continuously get better. So I don't think it's ever going to die, but I will say in this sense, you bringing up Styles and Jada, that type of energy though, whereas like in a new sense, like with a Dave East, right?
Dave East is hard.
Yeah, but they're not fucking with Dave East. Like,
who isn't?
People in general. Like,
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, like album wise, Dave East albums don't do numbers. They're
not fucking with Dave East like
that. They're not fucking
with
him.
But you know what I noticed? You know what I know? And this is what
Schoolboy, you guys fuck with Schoolboy?
Schoolboy is legend. But this is why we got to bring astrology to this. You're not going to hear this insight anywhere else. If you notice, Dave East is Gemini Sun, Capricorn Moon. So if you notice, all the Gemini Sun Cap Moon rappers have issues selling numbers, save G-Eazy. And that's for obvious reasons. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they get the respect, and save Andre 3000. Andre was a duo though. But and even solo, he's a legend. Like, save Andre. But Andre doesn't even make albums anymore because of that. He doesn't want to really like deal with the BS. But they get the respect. They don't get the numbers like Vic Mensa, like Jada Always, like Dave East, but they get the respect. So I thought that was interesting. And then I forgot. I was trying to remember what you said, Nikki, because it was based off of that too, like with Styles and Jada. But
yeah, I just feel like certain type of, you know how Pop Smoke was leading that new type of New York rap.
Yeah.
It just honestly, and for me, mind you, I'm in Jersey, so I'm around this.
You're right.
That energy, like, all right, dudes who want to stick to that type of rap, they rather be Pop Smoke than be Jada and Styles.
Exactly.
So in that regard, I don't know. But in terms of like hip hop, true MC type of thing, Kendrick and Cole, Big Sean type of level, I think more can come. But gritty, like old
unless it's like Griselda.
Griselda, yes, let's talk about it.
But you want to know something? I feel like Griselda now, is Griselda fueled by the younger people, or is that our generation to Nikki's generation happy to have a breath of fresh
It
air?
has to be ours. It has to be ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's both, you
The
guys.
the younger is getting put on though in a way they wouldn't if we didn't like push that or help push that. But it is a breath of fresh air. And I was thinking the other day, like, how come we haven't had a rapper to this day as iconic as Biggie? If you think about it, all the rap styles today are trying to be on the dick or copy Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, like whether they want to admit it or not. It's influenced the whole act of being hard, the whole act of being gangster. Like that's all influence from that era. And I'm thinking now, like, as opposed to now, the artists in that era had Reaganomics. They had to deal with crack. They had to deal with like social injustice. We don't have that now. And you can hear it in our music. Like no one is really going through the struggle like that. People want to glorify the struggle so much. They're trying to like make up struggle. It's not like Styles in the 90s. It's not like Big L who like had to go through this. And you can hear that in the music. So I think that's also why, you know, hip hop isn't really as, even though it could be cool now, like we could talk about now, but I feel like that has a lot to do with it.
I had a
You're right.
thought when you were talking, Mike, and I just wanted to say, like, it reminds me, like, coming up, the Source, they had like the 5 mics, right?
Yeah.
So like people sometimes they would get slighted and people would be like, yeah, man, you got like two mics in the Source, but they had like, you know, they were one of the greatest MCs or, you know, whoever it is. I'm not gonna throw numbers or who it was exactly, but it was just a thought. Like a lot of times, and now that I'm looking at it in a like a past tense, like coming up being a rapper, like, you know, in the early 2000s and on, coming up listening to stuff like that, it was like knowing that it was always that competition, that, you know, there was always somebody like the Source. You never got enough mics, or you never got enough plays.
Right.
You never got enough plays on TRL.
Right.
Things like that. It was always like sometimes the numbers are going to really separate. And I think in this shift, it's not going to be about numbers anymore.
Right.
It's going to be about if you speak in that truth, regardless if you're going through the struggle or not, you got to be able to speak your truth in hip hop. And I think the struggle is if you don't have a struggle, you have to show that you are in charge on the mic. So the way about that is to boast. Like that's why people were so like dope, because they would just be like talk about how much of like, you know, murderous they are on the mic, but they might not necessarily be murderers at home, but they would compare it to their mic skills. And that's hip hop.
That's hip hop, right? Yeah. No, that's beautiful. And it reminds me of something Black said when he was like, because he was responding to people starting to say that music isn't like it used to be back in the day, and he's like, good music is out here. You just got to find it. Like it's out here. But I agree, it's out here, but we also can't deny that shitty music is just being pushed. Like the game was right. Like there's just some trash ass music that's just being pushed in front of your face, and you can't find the good music because of that. But it still doesn't change the fact that you got to look for it. You do got to find it.
Let me bring my perspective from being a teacher. So I've been able to incorporate hip hop into the classroom.
That's what's up.
And yeah, but here's the thing, man.
Is it 8th grade, Jem?
No, I teach 5th and 6th grade.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
Yeah. Word. So, but last year actually I had one class of 7th grade, and with them I was really able to instill it. There's a website called Vocabulary. Anybody could go check it out. It's really dope. It really bridges hip hop and education, English, math, all of that. So, you know, I would have them.
Did we freeze?
Uh-oh, yeah, I think we lost him. We'll get him back on. He was about to go in too. That's ironic.
He was gonna break it down like the Virgo, like, oh, okay.
You can see the Virgo part. That's amazing. Oh God.
So,
I really love what you said though about like just the spirit of MCing, because some people can take it literal where it's like you really have to have shot that person. You really have to have had that body bag. And it's really more an art. It's really just more about
I body everybody on the mic, you know,
right.
Like where I came from. Like we came from like Cyphers. Like I literally would go to the shelter and this spot called the Lush in Hamtramck outside of Detroit, and we would see these raw MCs. I mean, people like I said, like Elzai, you know, cats that there's just so many great artists that were able to be able to show us that it's about the skill and the confidence on the mic. If you have the confidence, you can rock that, you know, like that's what it is, you know. To me, it's it doesn't always have to be a competition, but be proud of how you rock it.
I can confidently say hip hop has definitely built my confidence a whole lot. Just by like having the courage to share my ideas. Hip hop has been such a tool of self-expression and development in ways that I just can't describe. I'll forever be grateful.
Yes.
Definitely been like a father figure for sure.
Man, I think that's when we first kind of connected too. I remember when you were on your rhyme scheme, and it was like, I want to say, was it like about a few years ago? And you were doing a show in Texas. I want to say it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it at that point. I was like, yo, he's cold, like an astrologer, like, and it was totally my style. And then, you know what I mean? It was really good to feel like in our community, there are MC hip hop artists that are into the mystic. And then,
Yeah.
you said mystic
That
illumination.
actually perform too.
What was that?
That actually perform too. I didn't know there are a lot of rappers that don't have stage credits. Like they haven't been done a show, which is a totally different atmosphere.
Totally different thing. And I think that's when we were talking about with Gemini Brown. It was like, you know, there's a difference because when you're an MC, like you got to be able to know how to have that whole stage presence. Even in a cipher, you want to stick out. You want to be able to bring the animation, but still keep it authentic, you know? And I think hip hop is that, you know, like we're never faking it. We got to just be able to speak our real raw truth, whatever comes to mind. And I mean, I know we've spoke about this before, you know, personally, it's like freestyling is like channeling in a way. Like if you you just, that's why they call it flow, you know?
Y'all should have seen Mickey the last time yesterday when we were talking about how we are gonna do the freestyles, and we're like, so I think we were contemplating whether we could do writtens, and Nikki's like, nah, we're going off the dome, keeping it free. Nah, we ain't doing that written shit. We just spitting off the dome. I love that. I love that.
I know, and I was like,
damn.
I hope you don't think I'm cutting it all the way down, but I'm still gonna get my point across. That
right.
that art alive. And I think with us being able to do that is so powerful. You know, you guys being two Geminis and me being a Scorpio, we're bringing the astrology as well as like the hip hop element, you know.
Right. And for those who want extra insight, you know, Nikki is the Scorpio sun, and Gemini Brown and I have a composite Scorpio moon. So you get nothing but wisdom.
Yeah.
For sure. What's up, bro? We got you back.
Yeah, oh my gosh. y'all gotta get this to go off the computer, man.
Yeah. No, I'm on my computer.
You gotta tell us what you were doing with the kids though. That's when it
cut off. All right. So I just want to finish that point. So basically, they view lyricism is too easy.
Yeah.
So I literally got them to like be able to get their point across in terms of what they want to express. And it was boring. It was boring to them. And they literally said to me like, yes, but it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. So there was more. Yeah.
They're right.
I'm always learning.
They're right.
So, you know, with that, I just understood, and I would be a fool to keep trying to push something on them that they don't necessarily resonate with. So music will always be music, but these days it's less about the word and it's more about the swag behind it.
The vocal inflection and the tonation, it's all about that. The melodies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, there are some, I'm a hip hopper. You know what I mean? I listen to quite a bit, and I know like even with the classics, I tend to like the voice. I mean, you got to have bars, you got to have the whole complete thing, but I gravitate to voices too. So we all kind of have our thing. Like there's certain voices I just like that person's voice, you know, like
word.
Kick it like that. I'm like, yo, like I get down with that. Like I really like to hear like unique voices. It really brings something into it, like with me, you know?
We also have to remember some people prefer how because they lack the intellectual capacity to even know what is being said. Like it just goes over their head. So it's just words to them. So they don't even pick up the message. They just want to like groove. And everyone's different. You know what I mean? Some people want it all. So it really depends.
One of the things that like kind of like worries me, or just I feel like it's gonna be whack, is when we get to that point where it's like, within a bar, if you make certain references to like a TV show or a book or something very culturally relevant, I feel like the days of the coded structure of hip hop, I'm afraid of losing that.
We are. It's inevitable.
So, yeah, that's what I'm really afraid of losing. That coded thing, that thing where like everybody, when you hear something, it's like, oh, I know what that is. So
it's not going to be lost. It's going to be preserved. It's just going to be so much more rare. Like it's maybe like 1 in 10 people have preserved it, as opposed to how much more it used to be. Hip hop is about to be a lost sacred art for real. Like in the next couple of decades, like it's not, rap now isn't going to be what it looks like or was. It's going to just go totally.
I really truly hope it evolves, because we want to keep that essence. I mean, I think about like old sayings. Like I come from a Sicilian background, so like my grandmother had like her little, sayings and different things, and you think about like that stayed even though that wasn't my era. So like I could reference to a saying or something like that. So in hip hop, I would hope that could evolve so we can kind of keep our I guess like maybe like our lingo in a way, like being able to stay raw, but have like that inside, like, yo, on that tip, like I say tip a lot, but maybe people in the room don't even know what that means. Like, I still talk like with my Detroit slang from the 90s. And then I still try to understand a lot of younger generation. They're going to come up with their own words and way that they talk to people. Like I was just saying, like, what's up, home skillet? Like we used to say that back in the day, but I'm like, nowadays we're going to say it more because we're all in the home. So like I was trying to make light of that. Like we can evolve the way that we kind of communicate with each other, but still keep that essence where we, keep it hip hop.
Which is interesting because once again, like, we didn't want to believe Nas when he said hip hop is dead. We were like, nah. People got mad. Jeezy would do, and I liked Jeezy's response too, because he is hip hop, right? So like, even if there's other, but Nas was right. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, he knew what he was talking about. But it's also interesting because hip hop has evolved. It's just it's gone in directions that take away from its purest roots, and it's really inevitable.
What do you guys think about underground hip hop? I mean, that's basically like how I came up. I don't feel like hip hop is dead in Detroit or anything like that. Like there's really active artists out here still.
Shout out to Clear Soul Forces.
Yeah, Clear Soul Forces. Shouts out to the homies. Like we gotta find our pockets. Like when we're actually doing it, and kind of evolve that way and grow more. Like Gemini Brown, he's a teacher. So it's like we have like these ways that we can kind of install in the youth where they can kind of vibe, but they're going to have their own style too. So
I mean,
throw them to the water. Can't make them drink it.
I agree totally. My thoughts on that is everything you said, as far as like going to underground hip hop shows, seeing underground local talent, seeing who raps over just the beat or over the song. And anytime someone raps over the song, we all give each other that look like, what is this dude doing? You know what I'm saying? We give a word, actually seeing people grind, share their albums, talk about b-boying or b-boy graffiti, real hip hop. And I took it for granted back then because there's this hunger when you're underground of breaking through the mainstream. You forget how good you have it, that environment, that actual, even if there's only like 5 people at the show or 10 people at the show, still preserving it. You know what I mean? So
you still rock it like there's 100 watching you.
Right.
5, hip hop's energy.
Right.
Word. One of my enjoyments have been like just seeing, being able to be a part of something in the beginning, or seeing something in the beginning and then see its evolution. I was in 6th grade when Jay Mills battled Murder Mook, and that was like the first this was viral before viral. It was more like you had to go get the Smack DVD, or you had to see this battle. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the Smack DVD era? Was that it?
Yeah.
Most of these rappers would not survive that era at all.
Right.
At all.
So I feel like it has to be, like, what I'm saying is like there has to be a lore around it, this exclusiveness. And nowadays, concerning hip hop, it's kind of like an open club. Everybody feels like they could do it. And at the end of the day, that makes it lose some mystique. But
it does make it look, I 100% agree. It's easily accessible, and it's like people, it's kind of like what you said before, because people who rap now don't really have the wisdom and the essence of hip hop. So for them, it's just like, okay, rap's just the way I can say all the cool shit I want to say. I can get clout, and it shows. It's like you just see people rapping rhymes. You don't see people rapping about them. You don't see people really rapping with substance. And that's what makes it lose its mystique, because everyone can do it. Young Nudie said it too, like, everyone's rapping. We don't need everyone to be rapping. We need managers. We need street team hustlers. We need some people, even me, like, I'm taking this a step back at rapping just so I can get to executive managing, and like helping other people rap and get on. Like, I'm still get my rapping on, but I see it's bigger than that now. It's bigger than having to be used in the bar.
Like, a lot of people that I know that in Detroit, and I mean, I'm always going to reference to that because that's just how I came up, but a lot of people don't want the limelight in that way. Like, a lot of cats are doing numbers and signing to independent labels and selling out their shows, whatever venue it is, but not maybe, on the television or, on their, so it's,
which isn't respected enough, by the way.
There's
That's
a lot
totally
of
true.
people that want to stay underground, And I think conscious hip hop needs to make a little bit more of a, maybe not impact, but like come up like on the forefront again,
Absolutely. And I want to kind of add to that, because that's true. People think that you have to just be famous and have like diamond or platinum sales, but there are a lot of people eating. There are a lot of people on tour selling out shows. I bet you guys haven't heard about Turquoise Jeep. Turquoise Jeep is legendary, though. They make like these hilarious tracks, but they throw shows and they sell out each and every time.
Yeah, no, Ironside Hex, who's actually someone that's in my fam out here, he put me onto them because he likes, silly. I think, don't they do like kind of like, what are the parodies and stuff?
Parody silly tracks, yeah. They're legendary though. They're straight legends.
Yeah,
which is a skill within itself.
Yeah.
I'd not like to super change the subject, but like I would like to make an example like Immortal Technique and Chino XL. Those are some of my two favorite dudes, and they just did a tour, I want to say, over the winter. And I mean, just to see the turnout and the love that they were getting across the United States was awesome. I was following their IG and things like that, but not a lot of the younger generation would really even know who they are. But they're really powerful, revolutionary hip hop.
Immortal Technique for sure. Absolutely. Chino, I feel, is underground, more underground. Like, a lot of people wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anybody could just Google either two of those guys right now, if you're into any type of revolutionary hip hop, I mean, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. No, really, really solid bodies of work that still go over people's heads today. It's crazy how they don't get credit too like that. But I think it's because, once again, like they came up in the era where everyone was too obsessed with flashing and shining, and like this is when it started to be like even deeper. But I mean, that's more of an excuse. Regardless, that's neither here nor there as well. I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see where we go this decade in hip hop, for sure. I think there's a lot of promising acts, and I think we do have the opportunity to press the reset button and go back to our roots. That's something our generation has that no other generation has. We grew up so fast, like things happen so fast. I think now we have the opportunity to take stock and decide what direction we're going to go into. But is there anything in closing you guys want to say for this episode before we peace out?
I just want to say thanks. It's been great just kicking it with you guys on this. I mean, we met briefly before this and kind of kicked in. We've been building for a while, but for this to organically happen, I mean, I intend everybody in the chat is enjoying. I mean, I am. So thank you guys.
Word. Thank you. Nah, I'm just happy. You know, I'm happy to have this thing off and running. You know, happy to be connected with y'all. Everything is energy. So this is just an energy that I know the people have been waiting for us to put out there. And, you know, it's just time. So it'll be good to keep building on this.
Amen to that. And you know, this was just meant to be an intro. Just let you guys know we out here. We're gonna definitely be sharing our ideas and talents. You know what? I think I've decided for the intro Cypher, we'll just go a cappella. I think, Nikki, your voice went down because the beat was playing on my end, and when one person plays, it lowers the other. But we can save the beat for the end. We could try that. We'll see.
I mean, do you guys think I don't have the headphones right now, but maybe by our next episode, I'll be able to rock some headphones. Maybe that will help the, you know, the volumes, because I want to be able to be at the same volume as you guys, but I also don't want to lag either. That's like the MC's like worst thing. My beat lagging.
Especially because you spitting too. Like you're actually saying some hard stuff, and I just hate that. It's kind of so.
Yeah, we'll get. Like you guys know, I mean, it's just the intro. We're just trying to feel it. So if anybody in the chat wants to shout out ideas for us, like, we're open.
And we got the live chat. I'll end this episode off with the acapella Cypher. What's up, Emily Hoffmeyer? We got Kai Zenko chilling legit. The psychic Cypher here. And you know it is what it is. Acapella on the beat. I don't need a beat to actually speak. I got mad substance. I know that it's real. It is what it is when you listen to heels. It is what it is. I say that to rhyme. It is what it is. So much it's a crime. Presence is the moment and future is the destination, but the journey's where we go because we always play it. Hey. Word.
Cypher, let's go. You want me to go or Jem? Are we
go for it, Chula?
All right, go for it, Chula. I spin it like a hula hoop. You know, I shoot it up. What I do. This is how we style. Who is who? It don't really matter because you know how we come through. Gemini Brown, the peace dealer. Chula chakras. We keep it aligned. This is how we feel it, and then how we do it. We rock a mic every time we spit. This is how it is. This is real hip hop, original click. Get with us. We might be here every weekend. And this is how it is. This is how we freaking doing it for the deacon. Everybody know this is how it is. The first of the, and we doing it right. This is Nick Nack. I'm gonna keep it tight. Pass the mic because I see you're right.
We've been at it for about an hour. Now we gone all too soon. Shout out Peace Dealer, Nikki Chula. We all got Earth moons. I be the Virgo. She be the Taurus. Mike got the cat moon. Shout out to me, Gemini, born the 18th of June. Flowing off of the head. The shit so imperial. I eat beats, even though it's a cappella. I eat this like cereal. No. It's a miracle. How I flow so tight. I'll be spitting all day and all night. Like Kid Cudi, I don't need a buddy. Coronavirus, quarantine and chill. I'm just trying to get some cuddy.
Hey.
You know that shit on that 12th house tip.
Hey.
I'll be going hard, never lose my grip. Won't slip. Just keep on flowing. Nalo Brown out this bitch. You already know it.
Hey.
That's what's up. That was fire. I just realized we each have each of the Earth moons. I don't know how that went over my head.
How he broke that down.
Word. Yeah, I've been peeped that. I was like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, man. We keeping that click. We grounded. That's it. Click right here.
Word.
Next episode we'll bring in predictions. Unless there's any quick ones y'all want to make.
Oh, you guys want to do a list too next episode?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. The list gotta get
definitely. We'll bring in segments and all that.
Nice.
Well, just I was saying earlier, just to tie it back to the Corona and stuff. Optimistically, I just been hoping that this would be over sooner than later.
Yeah.
But transit wise, I do see it dragging out a bit. With Mars being conjunct Jupiter, then going to be conjunct Pluto, then touching Saturn. It's just more to come. Then goes into Aquarius. It's a lot of unpredictability. So I do think there's more to come, but there's going to be, with Aquarius representing groups and social reform and things like that, we can see more of a united effort than we've seen previously. So, even with just the things that Trump has been offering, is making him be a little bit more reasonable than he's been lately. So I do see some reform things coming into the works.
That's what's up.
I agree. I think there'll be some restrictions still, just as transit wise, but we're going to kind of peek into where the revolution will, because we are headed to the revolution. We just have to probably be restricted before we really feel that humanitarian come together style. I think that we're headed to that, though. There's just going to be some blocks in the way, but I know that we'll get through it.
Absolutely. And as far as hip hop's concerned, I think this next couple of weeks out, we're gonna see more surprise drop albums. I think we might hear of a couple, deaths or injuries, but nothing on any beef stuff. I think just more so. I think there's a lot that's being hidden right now that wasn't really spoken on. That's gonna come to the surface over the next couple of weeks too. So that'll be really interesting. But I mean, shout out to the albums, shout out to the artists dropping albums, shout out to the local artists or whether you're local, international, if you're making music yourself, shout out to preserving your craft. And if you're watching this, what we saying?
I was telling them, tell your story,
Amen.
Everybody has a story to tell.
Yeah, word to Biggie. And also, if you have any ideas of what you want us to talk about, comment it down below and we can mention it next episode or, during the segment, and let's keep it conscious. And other than that, you guys stay blessed as always. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Gemini. This is an amazing first episode. And until next time, peace out.